What is up guys, Max here, and welcome back to another tutorial. Clearly, I didn't care what kind of shirt I wore, so let's get into it. Now, in today's tutorial, we're covering how to put someone on a complete white background, but it not actually be a complete white background. As you can see, my bald head is in my living room with a white backdrop with a little bit of lighting, and we make it completely studio white, which is really effective in small studio apartments. You'd be really surprised. So let's get started, figure out how to make this. So here we are in Premiere Pro, as you can see the finished product. Now, to film something like this, it's actually really simple. You can pick up a flop out white backdrop. I'll leave a link down in the description where you can buy them on Amazon. They're super cheap, super easy to use, and you just hang it up on a stand or two. After that, you're gonna wanna light the background. And as you see from my original shot, I have a ring light right behind me that's pointed directly at the background. It's a ring light, say about right here, and then I have another light off to the right here, pointing at my face, which is actually the same light that I'm using right now on my face. Now I'll list all the gear down below that you could use for something like this, but this works with like a big white piece of paper, all kinds of stuff. You could figure out, hey, a white wall would work with this technique. So to get started, as always, you're gonna have your base footage. So I just duplicated it on my timeline to show you, but I'm gonna delete everything, all my effects, to start from scratch. Now, the first thing we're gonna do is go to our effects and find the crop tool. When we find the crop tool, we'll drag it onto our footage. We will use the pin tool and pin around my body. I'm gonna do it really quick because this is not super important, but a good practice is while you're doing this, and you're filming this, is that you need to make sure your hands kind of stay inside the filming area, so like you're not waving past the background. So I tried to talk like this. So if you're directing something like this, make sure you're telling your actor what to do. Don't wave their arms like a crazy person, because there's a limited area of window where you have to do some really crazy cropping and masking, which you don't want to do in the editing room. Now, once you've cropped this out, we're going to click inverted on crop in the effect controls and take the left, right, top, or down and move it to 100%, which crops out the background. Really cool. And then we'll take the feather, move it up to 150%. Next, go to your project bin, wherever you're storing all your stuff. And we're gonna make a new color matte. So click this little new icon right here, click color matte, same settings as your current video. We'll move it down to white, all the way to white, click OK, click OK. Now drag this under your footage, which if your footage is not on layer 2, move it up to layer 2 and drag the white background down. Now we have me on a solid white background, but we're missing one thing. The color's kind of off. So like you can still see that kind of faded white edges right here on the footage that doesn't match the solid white color matte, which we can fix this really quickly with a little bit of color correction. I'm not gonna go really in depth, but fast enough to let you understand what's going on. Now in your Lumetri color panel inside of Premiere Pro, you'll click curves first off, and we'll go ahead and grab the highlights and bring them up. We'll bring the midtones up back to 0, thereabouts, and we'll bring the shadows down, which kind of gives us that first little pass of color. Then we'll go to our color wheels and match. We'll bring our highlights pretty much all the way up, bring our midtones up a good bit, and bring our shadows down. Now we still have a little bit of an edge color on here, which we can fix that with a little more post-processing. Now, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna drag out a new adjustment layer inside of our project bin. So click the little new icon and adjustment layer, which will create a brand new adjustment layer that we can drag on top of our footage to do most post color work effects. So click your adjustment layer and go back to the Lumetri color panel, and you can actually add another layer of color to start editing a little more. So I can bring my highlights out a little more, bring my midtones out a little more, and bring my shadows down a little more. Now, we're starting to get somewhere. You can see that I've been nicely cut out of the footage. There's still a little bit of gray over here, and to fix this, you would just play around with your curves, something like that. I could go back to my original footage and actually go to basic correction and bring my highlights up a little more, which kind of fixes that little bit of shadow, which is pretty simple. Now, this is looking really good. I did that really fast. I suggest spending a lot more time on something like this to really dial in your color, but I think this looks great. The only thing that I would add to this that you might not have is my favorite plugin called Film Convert Pro, which is a color post color correction plugin that I bought. It's like, I think like $200 or I don't know exactly what it is. I bought it a long time ago, but I use it all the time for color correction, and it's really just a drag and drop plugin that I put on adjustment layers and films and stuff. I just like it. It's super easy to use. If you can afford it, get it. It's great. If not, don't worry about it. You really don't need it. But I'll change the settings in this. I'll bump up my saturation to 150% on my stuff, and there you go. You have a cropped effect. Now mine's a little different than my original. I think my highlights need to be blown out a little more, but I mean, for the most part, this looks pretty great. I think I would take this. I would take this to the boss and show them what's up. But in a nutshell, this is how you take a person and put them on a solid white background on a budget. Just a flop out backdrop, some simple lighting, and a nice bald guy to go in the scene. And that's how you do it. This is the Premiere Pro tip for today. As always, I am Max. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for being a part of the channel. If you're new to the channel, feel free to like and subscribe to all my crazy content. And other than that, I guess I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.